everyone. Pleasure to be here, coming all the way from Finland. Very nice to be here in sunny weather instead of the rainy, cold Finland. And the previous presentation was a very good prologue into my presentation, which deals with tokenless two-factor authentication for your Juniper SSL VPN appliances that the previous presentation covered. My name is Vesa Tihonen. I'm a director at the Mobile Authentication business unit at Tectia, and this business unit has been in operation since the beginning of this year. And I think most of the people know Tectia by its previous name, which was SSH. So we invented the secure shell protocol in 1995. Today's contents are an introduction to Tectia MobileID, then the mobile authentication use cases and benefits, then covering the key differentiators of Tectia MobileID, looking into our recent technology alliance with Juniper, and then covering the tangible SSL VPN login use cases for Juniper and MobileID, and then how you actually go about integrating Tectia MobileID with the Juniper SSL VPN appliance. So, we call MobileID the best tokenless two-factor authentication solution available, comparing to the competitive field. So we call it a next-generation tokenless authentication solution. And from the end user's perspective, the left-hand side photo of a flash SMS delivering your one-time password is really everything that the end user will see of MobileID. That's how it works. At the login time, you will get that flash SMS popping up and delivering you the one-time password. So MobileID is a multi-factor virtual appliance designed specifically for on-demand and out-of-band authentication. By out-of-band, I mean that it goes through the GSM network. It's based on high-quality SMS gateways provided by our SMS aggregator partners worldwide, and it's a full-fledged Radius and SOAP server and authentication platform, an AAA server, so it actually supports virtually every single OTP delivery method or mechanism that exists, such as password lists, email, any oath-compliant hardware or software token, voice OTP, even Microsoft's Unified Access Gateway, and instant messaging via that. It's fully customizable. It has a scripting engine on top of it, and it comes bundled with operator-grade SMS messaging connections. So, when would you consider going for a tokenless login? When your users are geographically dispersed, when you have a remote or mobile workforce, when you are providing your workforce an extranet, when you have ad hoc login requirements, and when you do not want to invest in and manage any type of hardware, such as the physical tokens, and when you do not want to wait for weeks for a new token to be delivered to your users. Further benefits are that, unlike with tokens, there are no seed data to be compromised. There are no security devices to be stolen or lost. There's a 24/7 service deactivation provided by the operator to which the subscription, the SIM card, belongs to. So you don't need internally another company help desk for this. The one-time password is 100% unpredictable and random because it's generated on demand at the login time. And with SMS authentication, you are actually performing a solution for the man in the middle, man in the browser attack, because it goes out of band to the GSM network. The user experience is improved because it's very intuitive. Your phone beeps at the same time when you're trying to log in. There's practically no administration involved with Mobile ID, and you will reduce the amount of help desk calls. Further benefits: you can do fraud prevention and password management with Tectia's Mobile ID. You can proactively lock end user's account after an arbitrary number of login attempts that fail. You can have notification of locked accounts via SMS. You can permit account reactivation. So we're talking about accounts in your LDAP, in your Active Directory. You can do even a geo-IP match on the mobile device's location versus the IP address of the device that is logging in. And you can permit forgotten password or PIN reset via SMS, eliminating the need for help desk services. So the unique differentiators of Tectia Mobile ID, there's in essence 4. It has the best user experience. It's the most scalable and reliable, fastest to deploy and take into use, and the most cost-efficient two-factor authentication solution out there. And next I will cover each of these items in detail. First, let's look at the unmatched scalability and reliability. Your end user, your customer, might have 25 people logging into SSL VPN, or they might have 1 million. That's not a problem for Mobile ID virtual appliance. One appliance is enough to serve the entire workforce. It has operator-grade SMS gateways integrated, so we can guarantee with SLAs on the delivery times that your SMS actually goes through no matter where you are in the world. And recently certified to work with Juniper SSL VPN appliances. And the Mobile ID server in itself has been in live production since 2003, even though the use case was a bit different. So it's very hardened technology. We know that it doesn't fail. And with its modular architecture, we can customize and add business logic as per your customer's needs. Then the total cost of ownership and return of investment. With flexible pricing ranging from perpetual licenses to subscription to prepaid bundles, it's very flexible, and the optimal pricing will be found for your customers. It has the lowest TCO. These numbers that I'm referring to here now actually come from an RSA's own white paper. For 250 RSA Secure ID users, over the period of 5 years' time, you're looking at a cost of roughly 140,000 USD, as per RSA states in their white paper. With Mobile ID, you're looking at 40,000. So that's less than 1/3. And a lot of it comes from the fact that this system is practically zero admin. New users are activated instantly when they are added to the Active Directory. Nothing else is needed. And thanks to the fact that it's tokenless, there's no logistics overhead. The fast deployment and activation then. Looking at this slide, we're listing here what the steps needed to be done to add a new RSA token user and removing a token user versus adding a new Mobile ID user or removing. Basically, all that is needed is to add that user account into the AD. then the superior end user experience. It's so intuitive that most of our customers enable it overnight without any training or heads up to the workforce, and everybody understands it. There are no help desk calls. And there are no changes to the existing login process. If you look at the SSL VPN login, you still log in the same place, the same mechanism. Your dialog just changes after the username and password to please key in your SMS password, and the phone beeps at the same time. It works on any phone anywhere in the world. As I mentioned, MobileID is actually a multi-use authentication platform. And by that we mean that with its powerful customizable scripting engine that runs on top of the server, we can address many ad hoc multi-factor authentication use cases. The main one is, as the presentation is titled, the SSL VPN access, thanks to the fact that MobileID is a full-fledged radius server. The second use case, MobileID is also a full-fledged SOAP server, so you can do the two-factor authentication for any web services and portals that you might have. For example, your extranet might be web-based, and if it supports SOAP, MobileID acts as a SOAP server for that portal and can deliver the SMS OTP. Then looking at the hijacking of your web browser sessions, the man in the browser, man in the middle threat, that's solved by doing the out-of-band authentication via the GSM networks. MobileID is multi-domain, meaning that you might have one AD, but you might have a dozen ADs or LDAPs. We can connect to all of them and search consecutively all of these LDAPs to find your user. We can do Microsoft Outlook Web Access, two-factor authentication. We support Microsoft's Unified Access Gateway for instant messaging delivery of your one-time password. Terminal services, different OTP techniques, email, lists, auth-compliant tokens, voice, and so on. And it's even available from a cloud, so for Windows environments. So you just connect, install one Microsoft installer on a machine that is connected to the internal network that can connect to your domain controller, and off you go. You get MobileID from the cloud. And online banking transaction verification is one of the use cases. It's been used. We can do parameters and investigate them and build additional business logic. So we can say that any online wire transfer in the e-bank that happens during non-office hours between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. that is larger than 1,000, we can send a confirmation to the end user that are you really doing this transaction, and they need to key in yes or no, or no answer means it's rejected. Now, looking deeper into the mRules framework, as I mentioned, it's fully customizable. New authentication methods can be added and the existing ones extended. They can be chained, they can be triggered, they can be scheduled. Any network packets, SOAP or radius, can be rewritten, routed, scheduled, and so on. And in that text editor, there's an example of a custom mRules script that we created. And it states that if the username starts with TK underscore and the radius appliance accessing is SA2500 Juniper device, do a token authentication. Then, if your login time is between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. require a PIN in addition, or if the LDAP user account, if the user's password is expired, generate a new password and send the new password via SMS. Or if there's no mobile number in the ID, inform the end user of that via SMS and ask for the mobile number. Now, looking at the Juniper Technology Alliance. We have now, together with Juniper, launched a full turnkey two-factor authentication solution without the challenges of the first generation two-factor authentication systems. So obviously, strong authentication is needed for your critical business information. With this, we can reduce your IT admin workload, hardware costs, scale easily from a few users to millions of users, and be up and running within hours rather than weeks or months. And here's how it actually integrates with Juniper. At the left-hand side, you have your remote user connecting through the internet. They might be on the internal network, connecting through the corporate firewall, accessing the Juniper SSL VPN appliance. Then the VPN appliance forwards a radius packet to Tectia MobileID with the user credentials. MobileID checks that the user credentials are correct in the AD and looks up the mobile phone number, and then generates and sends the one-time password via a third-party gateway if your customer already has an SMS gateway, or if they go with Tectia's integrated messaging service, then through our own hubs that are high availability and load balanced. And it goes out of band to the 3G or GSM network, and the one-time password is delivered to the end user. They key that in to the prompt, and again, MobileID checks that that's the correct one and grants access. And this is how it actually looks in practice. Your standard SSL VPN login page. Key in the username and password. Your phone beeps. You get that flash SMS that pops up. At the same time, the dialog changes to please enter your SMS password. You key in the 573924 and you're in. As simple as that. Second scenario that we could do is a pre-distributed SMS. So we send that to the customer in advance, prior to the login. Let's say a scenario where they are on travels and they don't want to use the phone, or that's just something that the end user wants to do, that they have this one password that is valid for X days. You log in, you key that in, and you're in. Now, looking at the technical integration with the Juniper SSL VPN appliance. It's simply on the Juniper admin GUI of the VPN appliance. It's simply a matter of adding a new radio server. Few parameters. You give it a name, identifier, the IP address, the port, a shared secret, and so on. Then, on the Tectia MobileID side, with its admin GUI, you add a new radius client, which is your SSL VPN appliance. And again, not that many parameters. IP address, radius secret, that's pretty much it. Then you point MobileID to your internal Active Directory or LDAP. Again, IP address, port, protocol, and the login name and password. And MobileID is live with those 3 simple steps. Looking at the web admin interface, you can do many things via the admin GUI of MobileID. You can monitor the virtual appliance. By the way, it's also available in RPM packages if you want to do a physical installation, but most of our customers so far have preferred the ESX standard environment and a virtual appliance. You can restart the server, you can monitor the CPU, the memory usage, log files, last logins. You have wizards for adding a new LDAP server, for adding a new SMS gateway, for adding a new Radius or SOAP client. You can run internal tests to make sure that all the connections are up and running. Auditing is obviously important, so you have log management tools here. You can export the logs, you can review them. They're pretty self-explanatory, sending flash SMS, sending challenge, receive challenge response, and so on. We also have a live VPN demonstration that works for anybody, anywhere, free of charge. And at that address, you have a Juniper SSL VPN login. You need to first go to the registration page, provide your name, your email, and your mobile phone number. And then the following second URL points you to the Juniper login page. And by providing the credentials that you get via email, so that we verify your account is really real, you will get in an email your credentials, and you can start using this free of charge. If you just have internet access, you can try it out for yourself. So, as a summary, Tectia MobileID versus the competition. Nobody is providing to date operator-grade messaging capabilities, which is the integrated SMS gateways that we have worldwide via partners such as Tintec, Sybase, TeliaSonera, and so on. These hubs are high availability. We allow ad hoc use because you can add a user to the AD for a week, you remove them, and they were in and they were out. It's highly scalable. It has a framework for customized login methods, as we saw with the mRules framework, and now it's certified for Juniper SSL VPN appliances. With this, I conclude my presentation, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I also have a couple of USB dongles in my pocket that hold the data sheets and the presentations, so if you're interested, please come and grab them. And I am upstairs with RelNet on the Juniper stand, presenting this today and tomorrow. So